Star Wars 7x7 episode 2343. Let's talk about what's going to be happening in the galaxy of Star Wars for the month of December. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, our monthly check-in on what to expect from the galaxy of Star Wars, and we break this into 10 categories, so movies, TV, animation, books, audiobooks, comics, virtual reality, video games, experiential, and merchandise. So let's start off with movies and say initially that there is no news on the movie front as of yet, and not necessarily an expectation in that regard. But that being said, we still have a date of December of 2023 on the calendar for the next Star Wars movie. And so right now, since we're in December of 2020, we're exactly 3 years out from that. And so I thought it would be interesting to just look at the development of The Force Awakens in light of that particular time frame and say that it was in October of 2012 that the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney was announced, and that the development of a new trilogy of films was announced. And on December 11th, according to the art of The Force Awakens, there was a team convened up in San Francisco to start picking out what would eventually become the art department for the Force Awakens. They still didn't have a script yet. They didn't have an announced director yet. J.J. Abrams wouldn't be announced until January of 2013. And the actual art department wouldn't necessarily assemble until January. And then with the full production development situation not ramping up until March. And Michael Arndt, who was the initial screenwriter for The Force Awakens, he didn't come on board until February or March, I think it was. So yeah, from where we are right now, looking out 3 years ahead, comparing it to where The Force Awakens was and looking, at that similar time frame, some sort of conceptual art department team could be assembling to get ready to start developing conceptual theories about what a new movie could look like. Even without a screenplay, even without a script, even without a story, they could still be pursuing some interesting ideas and developing new concepts. So that's the best I can say about the movie situation right now. On the live action television front, obviously The Mandalorian is rolling. We have 3 more episodes on the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. And they just recently announced that a Disney Gallery series for season 2 of The Mandalorian is going to debut really quick on the heels of season 2 of The Mandalorian. It's going to have its first episode come out on Christmas Day on December 25th. And pre-production work is already beginning on season 3 of The Mandalorian. And I presume it's still ongoing for Kenobi and Cassian Andor, but we haven't had any news from them yet. And I don't know if I necessarily expect anything new to come from them in December. It might be something where we're not going to hear anything about those series until they actually go into production, which isn't scheduled to happen until early next year anyway. On the animation front, so far it's still only The Bad Batch. That series is coming out sometime in 2021, but we still don't have a release date yet. And I don't think we're going to get one in December. I'm going to just, make a tiny wager in that regard. Maybe a little bit more concept art just to keep people interested and excited about it. But yeah, nothing as of yet. On the book front, it's going to be comparatively quiet from a storytelling perspective. There are 2 young reader books for The Mandalorian, Allies and Enemies, and A Clan of Two. So like really young reader stuff. And on the reference book side, The Art of the Mandalorian Season 1, so one of the Art of books, is coming out. And Abrams Books was kind enough to send me an advance copy to review, and we'll be talking about that later this month. It actually comes out on December 15th. I will just simply say, wow, 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 so far. In the realm of comic books, a lot of monthly releases coming out in December. Not a Dr. Aphra one, actually, but Star Wars number 9, Darth Vader number 8, Bounty Hunters number 8, Star Wars Adventures number 3, Also, the first issue of This Is Crazy. So there was a novel called Smuggler's Run, which was aimed at younger readers. It was a Han and Chewie novel, and it was written by Greg Rucka. It was released as part of the Journey to the Force Awakens back in 2015. It got a comics adaptation in Germany in 2018, and now it is getting an English comics adaptation here starting in 2020. So the first issue of that adaptation is coming in December. On the video game front, Star Wars Squadrons had advertised itself as saying, what the game is what you get. And that is that. There won't be any downloadable content things, no extra updates or whatever. And of course, they're doing stuff to, get bugs dealt with and look at the balance of things as people participate in online battles and whatnot. But they are adding 2 new starfighters to the game. They're adding the B-Wing on the good guy's side and the TIE Defender on the bad guy's side. So they're actually adding those 2 ships in December, which is a welcome addition. On the VR side, that's actually happening in the VR version of Star Wars Squadrons, but also there is an augmented reality Mandalorian experience that's coming out on Android phones, and I don't happen to have an Android phone myself, but I'm looking for information on that, so I don't think there's anything that's necessarily new. It's just adding something fun and cool to play with on your Android phones. So check that out if you have that kind of phone. And before we get to the last category, I want to give a quick shout out to the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation. That program collected and distributed 19 million toys to 7.3 million less fortunate children in 2019, allowing them to experience the joy of Christmas and receive a message of hope that otherwise would not have been there. The Community Action Program took place in over 800 communities covering all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. You can find out more about their mission and their achievements at their website, toysfortots.org. And you can also get information about donating not just to the organization, but donating locally to organizations in your area that work with the National Toys for Tots organization to help their own communities right where you live. So perhaps not coincidentally, the last topic that we're going to talk about for the month of December is merchandise. So we still have 3 more Mando Mondays coming on the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st, which means more Mandalorian merchandise based on the episodes. And I did see, and it was one of those where it just flitted across my Twitter radar that it's going to be quite a roller coaster ride for the last 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. And I imagine that means that it's going to be quite a roller coaster ride for the products that they offer as a result of the events of those episodes. So as always, I will be keeping you posted as new developments break, and we'll talk about it all as the month of December rolls on. So that is going to do it for this episode of the show today. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.